Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Charles Turner. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for The Professionals from 1966. It's a Western starring Burt Lancaster, Lee Marvin, Woody Strode, Ralph Bellamy, one of the old guys in Trading Places, he's in this. Jack Palance from City Slickers, he was in '89 Batman. He plays a Mexican. I'm like, okay, if you say so. And pretty much, you have four guys. I forget the name of the fourth guy, but Lee Marvin, Burt Lancaster, Woody Strode. Woody Strode was a football player, and he got into acting a bit, I think, after the war. Lee Marvin, he was a tough guy. He was a war veteran. He usually played villains until he played the dual role in Cat Ballou. After Cat Ballou did fairly well, and I think got him some award recognition, he would go on to be in films like The Dirty Dozen. He would work with Clint Eastwood. He would be in, of course, The Delta Force with Chuck Norris. Burt Lancaster, guy before my time in terms of acting, but he does a good job. Like I said, the acting's not the problem in this, and it's one of the positive things about it. These four guys are hired by Ralph Bellamy, who says his wife was kidnapped and is in Mexico, and was kidnapped by Jack Palance. Lee Marvin is a bit more of a weapons specialist. Burt Lancaster knows a bit about explosives. Woody Strode, he knows a bit of the landscape and tracking. The fourth guy knows a bit about horses, wrangling horses. And pretty much is their journey to get from point A to point B, find the bandits, rescue the girl, and then you realize there's something a bit more going about this story. That not all is how it's purported to be. That Ralph Bellamy might not be as innocent as he seemed to be. And it was okay, I would say, at the end of the day. I thought this film's alright. Now, I'm not a big Western guy. There are Westerns I've enjoyed. Rio Bravo with John Wayne. I saw that a year ago, give or take, maybe less. I enjoyed that. That was surprisingly good. Love High Plains Drifter, Clint Eastwood. Man with No Name, A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More, which I think are getting a 4K, which I'd be interested to see how those looked like. You know, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, good films, good trilogy. My favorite is Young Guns with Emilio Estevez and Lou Diamond Phillips. So there are westerns I like. This one I thought was just okay. Just the cast worked well, had decent cinematography. But at the same time, I thought there was decent cinematography in Rio Bravo. I thought there was decent cinematography in like High Plains Drifter. I mean, but I still had decent stuff here. The film just felt a bit long. Just felt a bit long in the tooth. Just wasn't the most exciting film. I mean, Lee Marvin and Burt Lancaster worked well together, and apparently there was friction on the set because Lee Marvin had a bit of alcohol problem, and Burt Lancaster, I think, at one point threatened to knock his ass down if you don't shape up. And there's some pretty decent bits of dialogue. I'll be damned. Well, most of us are. Nothing harmless in this desert, unless it's dead. So there's some dialogue that got my interest. But like Jack Palance, he appears once or twice, but he doesn't really have much to do or say until the last 10 minutes of the movie, which is too bad. Granted, I mean, Jack Palance playing a Mexican is pretty weird, but you know, he's still a good actor. One thing I thought was funny, though, is that when they got to this train where the bandits took over this train, Jack Palance is standing by a wanted poster of himself, but there's another wanted poster, and the name on that is Mario Lopez. I'm like, God damn, AC Slater, what the fuck did you do now? Damn AC Slater, that fucking troublemaker. There's a wanted poster out for him. Mario Lopez. At first I'm like, is his name Mario Lopez? Oh no, it's another guy. There's a wanted poster for a guy named Mario Lopez. So pretty much they infiltrate this camp. And when I say that, this is about like an hour into the movie. Because it's like a lot of them going through the desert. At times they're dealing with other bandits. Get to see Lee Marvin with a shotgun, but it's not like squibs, bloody squibs like the Wild Bunch. That'd be a bit later on. This is a time when people get shot, they fall down, but you don't see really any blood. Which I think in this instance that might have helped a little bit with that. And when they infiltrate the camp, they realize that there's something more going on because the girl and Jack Palance really do seem like they love each other. But they have a job to do, so they get the girl. Woody Strode has these explosives with these arrows. There's some nice explosions there. That was well shot. Same with this train battle, because they get back to the train, there's bad guys there, and they have to shoot with the bad guys and get back on the train. And there's a little bit of Lee Marvin shooting this machine gun and blowing up this one shack. I wish there was a lot more play with that machine gun. I thought the machine gun would be used a lot more. But it's really only used in that one little scene, which is too bad. So they run to the mountains. The girl keeps saying, no, I don't belong with Ralph Bellamy. You know, he forced me to be with him. I'm in love with Jack Palance. And then they're like, well, we still have a job to do. So then they blow off this cliff. And Burt Lancaster's like, I'll stay behind. You guys keep going. I'll give you some time. Some more time. And then a good chunk of the finale is Burt Lancaster versus a few of these bad guys, including Jack Palance and this female soldier called Chiquita. And like I said, there's a bit of a wit, there's a bit of, I don't want to say tongue-in-cheek, that's too far, but a bit of humorous dialogue where Burt Lancaster knew this girl and also knew Jack Palance, and then this back and forth about what did the Mexican War mean and what is the difference and what's the point of a revolution. And when the shooting stops and the dead's buried, it adds up to a lost cause. And again, that's what I mean, I don't hate the film. Just some of this dialogue was pretty decent. It was well-written dialogue. Granted, Jack Palance I don't buy as a Mexican, but he's a good actor. He's finally getting some stuff to say at the end of the film. I like that the female Chiquita knew Burt Lancaster, but yet at the same time, they're willing to kill each other. I think that made the film a bit interesting. Like, spoiler alert, Burt kills the girl, and she's dying. He shoots the girl. Then she puts up a gun to him, and it's empty. And he's like, now a lucky day. But then Burt says, well, you're still beautiful. So even though they're willing to kill each other, they still have a bit of a weird respect for each other. So that made it a little bit interesting of a back and forth. And it kind of makes the whole thing pointless because Burt Lancaster brings Jack Palance, who's wounded, with him. They get back to the ranch, and it's super spoilers. And then they change their mind. They go, you know what, Ralph Bellamy, you are a piece of shit. And you know what, this girl actually... Because what happens is when they go there, even though Jack Palance is wounded and he has no guns, they're ready to kill him on the spot. And Lee Marvin and Burt Lancaster stop them. and go, you know what? What was the deal? To bring this girl home? Let's do that. Let's bring this girl home. And so they bring her with Jack Palance and they tell them to go to Mexico. Hey, you lose a wife, we lose $10,000. We all lose. And Ralph Bellamy's like, you bastard! And Lee Marvin's like, yep. But for me, it was an accident at birth. But you, self-made man. And the dialogue and the acting is what made the film work. There's a couple alright action scenes. But this film's like almost 2 hours long. And here's the thing, back then, when you say a film's 2 hours, a lot of times you go, okay, but it's got like 5 or 7 minutes of credits. No, this is back to the day when the credits were like 10 seconds long. So I don't think it needed to be that long. It felt like a whole lot of nothing was happening. And people would say it's character development, but I can't say I knew much about Woody Strode or the horse guy. You know, at the end of the day, it was all pointless. Like, they go off. It's like, if they did nothing, actually would have been better because they got a lot of people killed. Like, all these people died just for you to let them go back to Mexico in the first place, which is what they were going to do in the first place. So, a lot of people died for nothing. A lot of people got killed for nothing. So, that kind of left a weird taste in my mouth. Like, again, you're doing all this to do this, and you're killing all these people, but at the end of the day, you just let them go anyways. Like, well, why didn't you think about this, I don't know, 2 days ago? Or 2 hours ago or something. So the professionals didn't get anything out of it. For Jack Palance and the girl, Jack Palance is wounded, and all their friends, comrades, buddies are dead. Or a lot of them are dead. So no, at the end of the day, it kind of left me with a bit of an empty feeling. And, I don't know. It's not a bad film because it's not badly filmed. It's got good cinematography of the West. But there's other films I could watch for that. The acting's not bad. The dialogue at times is rather fun or witty. And that's one of his strong points. But at the end of the day, it's not a film that I would ever rewatch. So, it's not a bad film. If you like westerns, like hardcore in the westerns and hardcore in the Burt Lancaster and Lee Marvin, it's worth a look. It's just, I would rather rewatch Rio Bravo. I'd rather rewatch plenty of other westerns other than this. And other than snippets, like there's a fun bit of dialogue about Lee Marvin says some words and Burt Lancaster goes, buddy, you just wrote my epitaph. That's not exactly word for word, but that was a fun little bit. But just too long. 2 hours, and it feels like a journey that takes forever to get there, and there's a few little decent parts, but I don't know, overall just not really a film I have much to say about, to be honest. And I'd just be repeating myself, so. Good acting, decent dialogue. Couple alright action bits. But I guess it just wasn't really that satisfying to me at the end of the day. So, take that for what you will. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.